Today we are going to learn how to interpret remainders. When you divide with whole numbers, any whole number that remains after the division is complete is called the remainder. Ned has 27 soccer cards in an album. He puts 6 cards on each page. He knows 27 divided by 6 equals 4 with 3 left over, because 6 times 4 is 24 and 24 plus 3 is 27. We're going to use an R to represent the remainder. Therefore, 27 divided by 6 is 4, remainder 3. How do you use the remainder to answer questions about division? We need to be careful because usually finding the division problem is easy. What is more difficult is finding out what the answer to the question is, because sometimes we want to use the whole number and sometimes we have to add one more because there is a remainder. You have to read the question very carefully to determine how to interpret or how to use the remainder. The remainder must be less than the divisor. If the remainder is more than the divisor, that means we can divide at least one more. We are going to look at the questions in B, C, and D and decide how to interpret this remainder. I am also going to write this problem in a way that we are going to be using division. Our question was, Ned has 27 soccer cards and he put 6 soccer cards on each page. You are going to write your dividend inside a bracket and the divisor outside of the bracket. So we want to know how many times 6 goes into 27. Well, we know that 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 5 is 30. 30 would be too many. So we're going to place a 4 over our 7 because we're dividing 27 by 6, not 2 by 6. And our answer is 24, so we're going to write that underneath the 27 because 6 times 4 is 24. We subtract the difference, so we have a remainder of 3. First question on B. How many pages did Ned fill? To answer this question, we have to find out how many groups of 6 there are. The remainder can be ignored. So 27 divided by 6 is 4, with a remainder of 3. Since it has a remainder, he only filled 4 pages, and then he's going to have 3 cards left over that with a page that is not full. Now let's look at the second question. It says, how many pages did Ned work on? Well, for this specific question, we have to find out how many groups of 6 are filled or started. We have to add 1 to the quotient and ignore the remainder. So, it says 27 divided by 6 equals 4, remainder 3. So he has 4 full pages, but he still has 3 cards left, so he is working on a 5th page. Therefore, the answer would be 5 pages. And the last question, how many cards did Ned put on the 5th page? The answer to this question is actually the remainder, because he has 4 pages that are full, but on the 5th page, he has 3 more cards. So for this question, Ned put 3 cards on the 5th page. Now, not only do you need to divide and write down the whole number and remainders, you also have to read the question carefully and decide how to use that whole number and remainder. We're going to take a look at another example and the guided practice. In another example, it says use counters to find 20 divided by 3. Write the quotient including the remainder. So over here we have 20 counters. They were divided equally into 3 groups. If you add up the 3 groups, you would have a total of 20 counters. Divided into 3 groups though, each group has 6 in it with 2 left over. Therefore, 20 divided by 3 is 6 remainder 2, because 3 times 6 equals 18, and 18 plus 2 equals 20. Guided practice number 1. When a divisor is 3, can the remainder be 5? Explain. Well, the answer is no. The remainder cannot be bigger than the divisor. Number 2. Dave is packing 23 sweaters into boxes. Each box will hold 3 sweaters. We need to find out how many boxes will he need. So I have 23 sweaters and each box will hold 3. Therefore, I need to do 23 divided by 3. I know that 3 times 8 is 24. That would be too many. So I need to go down one. 3 times 7 is 21. And then I have to count up to 23. So I would have 7 boxes full with a remainder of 2 sweaters in another box that is not full. Number 3, I'm going to do it down here, and I'm going to actually write it the traditional way. I have 47 divided by 3. I'm going to write 47 and then put it in a bracket with 3 on the side. I know that 3 goes into 4 one time, and then we're going to multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. We're going to subtract the difference because 3 times 1 is not 4, it's 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1, and then we're going to bring down our 7. Next, we're going to start all over again, and we're going to divide. We're going to say, how many times does 3 go into 17? The answer is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. We get a difference of 2 or a remainder of 2. So our answer is 15 with 2 left over. Number 4. We have 29 divided by 2. Well, I know that 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 9 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. We're going to subtract, and we're going to get a remainder of 1. So we have 14 with a remainder or 1 left over. I'm also going to provide you with some chips for you to arrange them if you need to help you, or counters. Number 5, I'm going to do mentally. I know that 5 times 12 is 60, and 62 minus 60 is 2, so I would have 2 left over. I did this one on a clean page because I ran out of room. If I'm going to do 86 divided by 6, remember to put your 86 in your bracket and 6 on the outside. Now I can say, how many times does 6 go into 8? Well, the answer is 1, because 6 times 2 is 12. That's too many. So now I'm going to multiply 6 times 1, which is 6. I'm going to subtract the difference and bring down the next 6. Then I start over and I divide again. How many times does 6 go into 26? Well, the answer is 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And I'm going to have a difference of 2 or a remainder of 2. We are going to take notes in our math notebook, so our steps are set up to help us with this. Please make sure that when you go to do your homework or your classwork, that you refer back to your notes. Please do problems 7 through 13 on page 273. Then on page 274, go ahead and do numbers 14, 15, and 18. Number 17.